You there?
Yeah?
Cool. Hey, I would like to talk about this evening about the ice raids in Minnesota.
Checking the latest on ice in Minnesota.
The ice raids in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's been intense here in Minnesota today. Ice operations are still going strong under that Operation Metro surge. Agents were out early, hitting spots like Robbinsdale, Burnsville, White Bear Lake, and North Minneapolis with arrests and traffic stops. No new shootings reported today, but the fallout from Alex Preddy's killing last Saturday is huge. Those two Border Patrol agents are now on admin leave, and there's a vigil tonight at the spot where he was shot, plus candlelights at VA places nationwide. Protests are ramping up too. People gathering on Lake Street this evening, demanding ice leave, and there's a bigger national day of action planned for Friday. St. Paul's mayor met with Tom Homan, trying to push for de escalation, and Trump's talking about scaling back, but enforcement hasn't stopped yet. A federal judge just ordered release of some asylum seeking refugees who got detained, which is a win for locals. Oh, an arrest for assaulting feds during protests, plus that weird incident with someone spraying Ilhan Omar at her town hall yesterday. What part of all this do you want to dive into? The shootings, the protests, or something else?
No, all of that is just, I heard about all of that earlier today. And it's getting crazy out there. Well, the ICE people, though, are only targeting people that they have warrants for or names that they're actually going for people they know in advance. They're not going around rounding up entire neighborhoods or swaths of people at a disco or something or at a club and then detaining everybody and demanding they see ID from everyone. They're actually targeting specific people and they go after those people, and then that's how other protesters then follow them and try to block them. But it's not like ICE is out there just rounding up people randomly and getting their IDs from.
Checking the latest on ICE tactics here.
Well, we know that they're going out with warrants to specifically go after the bad guys. That's the whole thing with Minnesota is that the governor and the attorney general and the mayor and the police chief wouldn't work with ICE to get rid of the bad people while they were already detained in jail. See, while they're already in jail, locked up for things, or say they committed a heinous crime, uh, violating someone, right? And they lock them up. Now, what they do is they let them go because there's no bonds, right? They stopped all the bonds, so they let them out of jail. But while they're in jail on that specific violation, they're detained, and they're under arrest, and that's when ICE would like for the police or whoever to call them and say, "Hey, we've got so and so Habib or Majib or whatever the hell their names are, or even Juan or whatever their names are. You know what I mean? We've got him detained here in our prison for a heinous crime or any crime. We'd like for you to pick him up and ship him out." And that's what Minnesota is not willing to do, or perhaps willing to do now, but have not been doing.
Got it. Checking the latest on ICE in Minnesota. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's frustrating when it feels like local leaders are protecting criminals by not cooperating with ICE on detainers. From the latest reports, Operation Metro Surge is officially framed as targeting the worst of the worst, people with serious criminal histories like homicide, rape, gang stuff, assault, fraud, you name it. DHS lists arrests of folks with final removal orders and. So, yeah, a lot of it is going after specific bad actors they know about. But it's not just that. There's street level stuff too. Agents doing traffic stops, approaching people in public, like at bus stops or charging stations, asking for papers, and making quick detentions without always showing judicial warrants. Lawsuits from the ACLU and others claim racial profiling, warrantless arrests, and even grabbing U.S. citizens or legal residents by mistake. Some raids hit homes or workplaces broadly, not always super targeted. On the jail side, Minnesota's state prisons do honor ICE detainers. They notify and transfer when possible. But many county
You're
jails, especially in big cities like Hennepin and Ramsey, don't hold people extra time just for ICE. State law says they can't without risk of lawsuits. So
That's
yeah,
that yeah that's ridiculous that they can't risk it without lawsuits. They came in here illegally. They've already broken the law. So and this country and the rest of the world shut down every single business in the entire world. So don't tell me they can't take some illegals and deport them because they risk a lawsuit. That's ridiculous. Where there's a will, there's a way, and the Minnesota and a lot of the Democratic states have not been helping ICE agents with the people that they have detained already, and that's what created this entire problem in Minnesota. Technically, actually, what created this problem was Nick Shirley discovered that there was fraud in Minnesota, and it came up, and now they said they've discovered it's up to $9 billion, and that's what happened. I think this whole thing was a cover up to try to stop us from talking about Nick Shirley and all the fraud that they've been doing in Minnesota. See, now we're talking about the two that have passed away, which we have to, don't get me wrong, but we're also talking about other things. But what we're not talking about is the fraud that actually started this entire thing that that the Governor Waltz and Attorney General and HHS Secretary and the rest of them have all been stealing and letting the Somalis steal from us. No comment?
checking on Nick Shirley and that fraud claim real quick.
No comment on the rest of the things I was saying?
Checking on Nick Shirley and that fraud claim real quick.
Well, that wasn't really the point of this story, of what we were talking about. We just used Nick Shirley as a reference, but the fraud is what we were saying that they've covered up. The fraud, the $9 billion in fraud, not Nick Shirley, or trying to see about that. We know the Nick Shirley thing, and we know the fraud is true. We know all of these things. So checking on that is irrelevant. I was asking you to comment.
Checking on that fraud claim real quick.